How can I live a fulfilled life when I'm not able to fulfill my desires, dreams, and longings? Some people ask, how can I live a fulfilled life when I'm not able to fulfill my desires, dreams, and longings? I definitely don't have the necessary strength, energy, skills, or opportunities to fulfill them. And so, how can I lead a fulfilled life? Regarding the first question, which is, how can I live a fulfilled life when I am not able to fulfill my desires, dreams, and longings? The following conversation that a visitor had with Ramana Maharshi provides clarification. Visitor, is it bad to desire something? Maharshi, one should not be elated on having his desire fulfilled or disappointed on being frustrated. To be elated on the fulfillment of desire is so deceitful. A gain will certainly be lost ultimately. Therefore, elation must end in pain at a future date. One should not give place to feelings of pleasure or pain, come what may. How do the events affect the person? You do not grow by acquiring something, nor wither away by losing it. You remain what you always are. Visitor, we worldly people cannot resist desire. Maharshi, you may desire, but be prepared for any eventuality. Make effort, but do not be lost in the result. Accept with equanimity whatever happens, for pleasure and pain are mere mental modes. They have no relation to the objective realities. Visitor, how is that? Maharshi, there were two young friends in a village in South India. They were learned and wanted to earn something with which they might afford relief to their respective families. They took leave of their parents and went to North India on a pilgrimage. On the way, one of them died. The other young Pandit was left alone. He wandered for a time, and in the course of a few months, he made a good name for himself and earned some money. But he wanted to earn more before he returned to his home. In the meantime, he met a new pilgrim who was going south and would pass through the native village of this young Pandit. He requested the new acquaintance to tell his parents that he would return after a few months with some funds, and also that his companion had died on the way. The pilgrim who was going south came to the village and found the parents. He gave them the news, but he interchanged the names of the two men. Consequently, the parents of the living man bemoaned their supposed loss and grieved for their dead son. But the parents of the man who died were happy, expecting the return of their son, bringing rich funds as well. So, you see, pleasure and pain have no relation to the actualities, but are mere mental modes. The way to practice Maharshi's teachings in this conversation can be given as follows. You may desire, but be prepared for either success or failure. Accept the results calmly. Be cool and wise about it, because it is within your competence to agonize and suffer with the results, or just be unshaken or unperturbed about them and go on with your life. You may not have control over the results, but you certainly have control over how to react to them. This is simply the difference between a worried mind and a calm mind. Now, let's deal with the second question, which is, I definitely don't have the necessary strength, energy, skills, or opportunities to fulfill desires, dreams, and longings. And so, how can I lead a fulfilled life? This amounts to the person saying that the necessary willpower is absent or lacking. The following conversation a visitor had with Ramana Maharshi provides clarification for this problem. Visitor: is not willpower necessary for success? It should ensure success and also rule out failure. I try to gain willpower. After all these years, I find myself only where I began. There is no progress. What are the means for gaining willpower? Maharshi: your idea of willpower is success insured. Willpower should be understood to be the strength of mind which makes it capable for meeting success or failure with equanimity. It is not synonymous with certain success. Why should one's attempts be always attended with success? Success develops arrogance, and the man's spiritual progress is thus arrested. Failure, on the other hand, is beneficial, inasmuch as it opens the eyes of the man to his limitations and prepares him to surrender himself. Self-surrender is synonymous with eternal happiness. Therefore, one should try to gain the equipoise of mind under all circumstances. That is willpower. Again, success and failure are the results of prarabdha, destiny, and not of willpower. A man may be doing only good and noble actions and yet prove a failure. Another may do otherwise and yet be uniformly successful. This does not mean that the willpower is present in the one and not in the other. Practicing this teaching is basically as follows. One has to understand that leading a fulfilled life does not mean that your every desire, dream, and longing should be fulfilled. If you desire for something, first prepare your mind that the results may be success or failure. That is, the results could be what you want, but may not happen that way. Knowing thus, make a concerted effort to fulfill your desire to the best of your ability with the skills and resources that you have, but don't be lost in the result and be consumed by it, because worrying or feeling bad about the results is useless, and all it does is to make you unhappy. Instead, make effort cheerfully, accept the results calmly, and move on. This simply makes the difference between foolishness and wisdom, misery and happiness. Also, great people in the world say that happiness and peace of mind is in actually doing the work without worry or pressure, because when you totally concentrate and focus on something, the mind is quiet and there is tranquility and a quiet happiness. Here, the process of performing work well itself is the fulfillment. So, when one does everything, big or small, to the best of their ability, then one need not worry about the results. To summarize, living a fulfilled life is not to be constantly restless with desires, dreams, and longings, and worrying about them. But fulfillment is to attend to one's allotted duties in life to the best of one's ability without the interference of the ego. That is happiness and that is fulfillment. One should remember this in everyday life and practice this every time the mind is troubled by any disturbing thought. One should practice Ramana Maharshi's teachings all the time for a fulfilling life and happiness. Practice indeed makes perfect.